We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
Morning, guys, and welcome to the podcast. And today, I've really got a fantastic guest for you today. Our guest here helps entrepreneurs start their B2B service-based business, especially in the marketing side, marketing agency. So if you're tuning in and listening and are interested in starting a marketing agency and a B2B service-based business in this area, Jake Setterlun is here to talk about all his wisdom and experience and expertise. And thanks so much, Jake.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris, for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, briefly, describe your story and background. I know you're in Milwaukee, and talk about how you got started launching your business and your company.
For sure. So yeah, born and raised in Milwaukee, and really my story started, I was in school for engineering, and I had always been interested in product development, inventing, that kind of stuff. As a kid, when people were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer was an inventor. So that kind of led me down the engineering route. And from there, I was obviously in school for engineering, and I had done an internship and realized this 9-to-5 stuff is not for me. So I ended up starting a little prototyping company. I realized you can start a company, but people don't just flock to your doors. So I had to learn marketing. And then that really just took me down, that whole of doing marketing for others and all those services, lead generation, direct response ads, all that stuff. So it's been about 10 years now since I have been offering marketing as a service. I have started, exited, still run a few different marketing companies along the way. A lot of cool stuff has obviously changed since I started, but yeah, it's been an enjoyable ride so far.
And I want to talk to you about these idea of direct response marketing and lead generation, because in this era, the social media, and now we've got artificial intelligence. I want to pick your brain. And so, first thing is talking about is building a strong value proposition. And, a lot of the audience are they're getting into the entrepreneurship field, and a lot of them are B2C, like coaches, but then we have people in the B2B selling sponsorships, advertising. So what advice do you have for crafting a compelling value proposition that stands out in a competitive B2B market?
Yeah, so I think there's two things that really go into having a good value proposition. I think especially when we're talking about marketing yourself and why people would come to you, definitely the first big thing is you have to have something unique. I use Facebook ads as an example because that's just a very typical service, and everybody sells Facebook ads. Like everybody can do it. Your neighbor down the road could probably service that. So you really need to stand out. You need to be unique, and it needs to be kind of, in this day and age, people don't want services, they want an end result. So you need to kind of create a package, a program, a system around whatever you're offering. But then that package just can't be Facebook ads. It also has to be something else. So you have to have something that's unique and getting somebody in the door. So an example would be, I do Facebook ads for people, and we use voice AI to convert leads into booked appointments for you, so you don't have to do that, or something like that. So it's not super alien. It's not like we run Spotify ads, because if you come up with something that's super just like, I've never heard of this, I don't know if it works, then you're going to get that objection, and now you have to sell people into something they don't know works. But yeah, the biggest thing of having a good value proposition is really selling your end result, and the way to get people that end result is something unique that they haven't 100% seen before, or maybe they've seen, but they haven't tried yet.
Interesting. Yeah, I know there's a lot of pain points and frustrations, a lot of people buy ads and they just flop, or or people they don't know who to work with, and a lot of these agencies are very expensive and don't deliver. And so how do market agencies help entrepreneurs identify their target market and define their ideal clients?
Yeah, so one of the biggest qualifiers for us whenever we work with somebody, we always say, if you don't know what you want to like offer, we're not going to go and run ads yet. Because if you don't have something that you number one want to offer, you don't have like an identified product or service, and you don't know that your audience is actually responding to that offer, then you're just, like you said, you're wasting your money on ads. So you really need to have somebody that is like, I do X, Y, and Z. I have a systematic way of getting people to that point. And then we can take that communication, that message, that offer, and put that into ads. And that's when ads works. But if you're just, saying, oh, I want to, like a client comes to us and they're like, I have this or this service, this service, this service, and I want to advertise all of them, we end up turning those people away because it's like, that's not how advertising works. That's good for awareness if you just have money to burn, but if you really want to like have a good ROI, you need to have a specific audience that's going to respond to a specific offer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things that a previous guest that was talking about ads, specifically Facebook ads, is like you have to know that your offer will generate a response from your audience. So if you're not at that point yet, don't do ads. So another question I have for you is, so, how is it different from going from a B to C versus a B to B? What are the components and things that are make it difficult for the transition, or the differences between these two different types of businesses?
Absolutely. So I personally, from what I've seen in my experience, there's pros and cons to each. The pros of going after B2C is definitely it's cheaper. It's cheaper, let's say I'm a real estate agent running ads to get people wanting to sell their home. That's going to be cheaper than me trying to advertise my services to somebody that owns a business, just because there's less business owners, there's more competition versus a real estate agent, they have almost the whole population that potentially owns a home and that they could work with. So it's definitely cheaper in B2C than B2B, but B2B leads are going to be pound for pound better than a B2C lead. So there's more that has to be done to a B2C lead than a B2B lead, because let's just say I'm running a Facebook ad. A B2B lead, I could say, hey, give me your name, phone, email. I can send them to a calendar, and there's a 50% chance they're going to show up. If I do that with a B2C lead, again, let's just use the real estate example, and I'm a realtor, do you want to sell your home, enter your info, book an appointment with me? There's about a 12% chance that they're going to show up. So you need to have things like an appointment setter and extra communication and a way to filter the B2C leads out so that only the serious ones are actually get on your calendar. So there's pros and cons to each, but at the end of the day, when you really look at how many leads am I getting, how many am I allowing to book from a B2B perspective and a B2C perspective, the cost ends up being the same. You just have more filtering that needs to be done on the B2B side, or B2C side, excuse me.
Yeah. And so, and I really love that. And so, then we're in the latter half, so we're going to talk about lead generation and client acquisition and digital marketing strategies. For the audience, stay tuned for that. One thing is talking about is what I found interesting is because you talked about direct response marketing and generating leads. And I read the Michael Dell autobiography where he was talking about he had to go to the county courthouse to find people that were newly married, and he would send like flyers to them because they would most likely in need of like a PC back then. And now it's changed. How has like direct response marketing and lead generation acquisition changed with social media, and now we have artificial intelligence?
Absolutely. So it's gotten harder, I think, at least from what I've seen. Again, I've only been in this industry for 10 years. Direct response marketing's been around forever. But from what I've seen, it's only gotten harder. And I'll explain that a little further because it's easier to get leads. People understand, like, okay, if I want information, I have to put in my name, phone, email, and that's how I'm going to get past this layer. So getting leads is a lot easier. What's harder is getting people to show up and actually buy. So things like voice AI, things like AI nurturing, and even just retargeting, people that opt in and then book, and then before they get on the appointment, but after they enter their information, retargeting them with more content about your business and getting them excited with emails, text messages, retargeting ads, having the voice AI call them up and say, hey, we saw you're on the calendar. Thanks for booking. Or, hey, you didn't book an appointment yet. We'd love to get you on our calendar. AI texting, obviously, you do the same thing with that. So it's a lot easier to get leads, but it's a lot harder to actually get that lead to engage, book an appointment, and then even show up for the appointment.
Interesting. Next question I have for you is, based on this, what are the most effective strategies for generating leads and securing clients for a B2B service-based business?
Yeah, so for a B2B business, I always like to say people can go run like a lead magnet, like get my free PDF, or they could try to run some kind of purchase funnel where it's like get my PDF for $7. But for me, when I look at a strong offer and seeing if something's going to be profitable and converting is a very direct response ad where it's, hey, this is the ad, this is what I do for people, this is what I offer. If you're interested, go through our application below, see if you're qualified for the program. And then if they qualify, and you can set up a survey on something like Jotform or Typeform and ask them 5 to 10 questions. And then based off their answers, you can qualify or disqualify, send them to an appointment booking funnel or calendar or whatever. And then boom, that's going to a closer or a salesperson, or you're taking it and you're able to close them. So for me, a successful B2B campaign is really a direct response ad where it's, hey, this is what I do. See if you qualify for the service that I offer. You can look at revenue, where they're at, and then get them on your calendar. And if you can successfully do that, get them on your calendar, have them show up and close, that to me is a successful way of client acquisition for B2B. And then you can play around with the lead magnets and the newsletters and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, interesting. And in that light, what digital marketing tactics work best for B2B businesses, and how can agencies help entrepreneurs leverage these channels?
To me, I think everything is fair game. I think it's all part of the system. There's been a lot of businesses, and we had it with our companies for a long time, where we were able to scale with just paid ads, with just Facebook, just Google. And now it's gotten more developed. People are used to seeing ads. So you almost need everything now, because it's all going to be a fraction of the whole pie, which is being everywhere, having, organic posts that are really good, having ads going, having retargeting, having a newsletter, like having all that stuff and creating this ecosystem around whatever you're trying to sell. And then that's what's really kind of necessary and working nowadays is having the whole ecosystem, not just one channel, because it's necessary, because there's other people that do have the whole ecosystem and you're competing with them and they're going to win over you if you don't have that.
Yeah. I've heard really different opposing one person, one camp is like just niche down, focus on one channel. But then you saw what happened to TikTok, and now you have to be just all these different strategies, kind of diversify, and so that you can be omnipresent in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We touched a little bit about AI, but everything is about data analytics. You talked about retargeting. And so how can B2B service businesses use data to measure the effectiveness of their marketing campaigns and refine their strategies?
Absolutely. So that's something that I've gone in and out of kind of over the years of, like, I'll be really super in depth on data. Things will be going good. I fall out and then something breaks and I have to go back and look at the data. But it's just become kind of a day-to-day thing now, where it's super important, because data is going to be what drives your decisions. If I'm looking at how many clicks did I get, what's my cost per click, what's my conversion rate, what's my click to lead rate, like what are all these metrics? And then based off those metrics, which one's the easiest one for me to double? Because my lead cost might be $20 a lead, and I just, I can't have that. I can't get that down to $10 a lead. But if my click-through rate, so let's just say 100 people see my ad and one person clicks, well, I could get better marketing out there and say 100 people see my ad and 2 people click. Well, now I just doubled my conversion rate on my ads. And then now that's causing my lead cost to cut in half because now I have 2 clicks going for the same cost. So it's like, it's looking at that data and really understanding like where can I actually focus my time to make a significant result instead of just being like, oh, this is what it is, nothing I can do about it. To me, businesses in a whole need to be focused on data-driven decisions to scale profitably.
Interesting. Yeah. And yeah, I always, I love analytics and just seeing how you can improve it. Kind of these like fine tuning, you like focus on one thing and you improve it and you see like it makes a dramatic difference. We're coming to almost to the end. We have around a couple minutes left. And so, what are some common mistakes B2B service entrepreneurs make when working with marketing agencies and how can they avoid?
I think just letting them do what they want is the biggest mistake that I've seen 100%. It's one thing to micromanage people. Like I get that you don't want to have to micromanage somebody, but definitely stay involved in what they're doing. You don't have to be the practitioner, like you don't have to be actually doing it, but as long as you understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and if you don't have a base understanding of marketing and they're just like out there just you're just trusting them that, they're going to do good by you and do what they need to grow your business. Like most likely that's why, I think that's why a lot of marketing companies get a bad rep is because there's such a big disconnect from where the client is and then where the business is. And they're looking at leads. They're, the client's looking at how many people walk through my door. So you've always had that. But if to have success with working with a marketing agency, the first step is really just understanding the basics of marketing, what the business is going to be doing, and how do I look at what that marketing company is doing for me and understanding, is it actually like, kosher and really good, or is that, are they bad business practices? And then obviously I would stop working with that marketing company.
Yeah. Yeah. I have so many stories to share.
I don't doubt it.
And once you get your ads running, once you get your, your leads and you're getting your costs down and, you're scaling it. So what other strategies can entrepreneurs use to scale their business, and how can marketing agencies such as yours play in this growth?
Yeah. So one of the other biggest like things, once you have your offer, you get your ads going, you have your ads going. I always like to tell people email is never going to go away. Picking up the phone and dialing somebody, it's never going to go away. Nobody likes getting cold calls or cold emails. But if you want to have a scalable business to $100,000 a month, $1 million a month, whatever revenue number you're trying to hit, cold outreach and having some kind of a sales team that is just doing the dirty work to get more clients and reach out, make connections, set appointments. I think that's one of the biggest keys. And now you have AI. So AI can do, a lot of that work for you. But I think that's one of the biggest things. And that's what we teach. And that's what we, kind of help individuals implement is that, yes, ads is a big part, but there's a whole nother big part of growing your business, which is just the boring old stuff, which is calling, texting, emailing, and your follow-ups.
Yeah, I love that. And how can people find you, connect with you and reach out to you and see what you're all about?
Absolutely. Just jakesetterlun.com. I have all my stuff on there. We have a lot of free resources in addition to some of the one-on-one coaching that we offer as well.
Yeah, awesome. I really enjoyed this conversation and I love talking with entrepreneurs, especially in marketing. I'm a marketer, I'm a strategist myself. So just a lot of great insights and keep up the great work.
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.